What if I told you the new Lanterns teaser may have secretly revealed the entire direction of the DC universe? Because this trailer wasn't just showing off Hal Jordan and John Stewart, it was quietly setting up cosmic threats, deeper Green Lantern mythology, and possibly the biggest DCU crossover yet.
This is the way. This is the way.
Welcome to Fatherly Fandom. I'm your host, Chris, and if you love deep dives, Easter eggs, comic breakdowns, and everything nerd culture, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss future DCU coverage. And by the end of this video, we need to talk about why fans are suddenly comparing this show to True Detectives, Logan, and even Watchmen. Alright, right away, the biggest thing this teaser confirms is Lanterns is not trying to be a goofy cosmic superhero show. This feels grounded, dark, slow burn, almost uncomfortable at times. And honestly, that's exactly why people are suddenly getting excited about it. And this heavy atmosphere feels way more HBO crime thriller than traditional superhero series. And then suddenly you mix in Green Lantern mythology and somehow it works! A lot of fans online are comparing this tone to True Detective, especially because of the mystery setup and the dynamic between Hal Jordan and John Stewart. But what makes this teaser interesting is how it balances realisms with the flashes of insane cosmic power. Because unlike the first teaser, this one finally embraces the superhero side of the Green Lantern universe. One of the biggest things I notice immediately is how exhausted Hal Jordan looks throughout the trailer. This is not cocky, fearless Hal most casual fans know. This version feels older, haunted, almost emotionally destroyed. And I think that's incredibly important. There's a scene where Hal Jordan tells John Stewart,
"This ring, it's the greatest weapon in the universe."
But listen to how he says it. It doesn't sound inspiring, it sounds like a warning. Almost like Hal has already seen something terrible happen because of the rings. And if you know the Green Lantern comics, there are a lot of possibilities for what that could mean. Maybe he's already encountered Sinestro. Maybe he witnessed a core-level disaster. Maybe the DCU is quietly setting up Parallax. But whatever happened before the show started clearly changed him. And honestly, I love that choice because it instantly gives Hal more depth than we usually see in live-action adaptations. Meanwhile, John Stewart feels like the emotional center of the show. The trailer frames him almost like the audience surrogate, stepping into the terrifying cosmic world. And Aaron Pierre honestly looks perfect for the role. He brings this calm intensity to John that feels incredibly comic accurate. What's interesting is the trailer constantly contrasts John's determination with Hal's exhaustion, almost like Hal's lost faith while John is just beginning to discover his purpose. That dynamic could end up carrying the entire show, and honestly, it feels very mentor and student, but also very tragic because we get a sense that Hal already knows things are going to get worse. Now we need to talk about the biggest conversation online right now, the True Detective comparison. At first, some fans were very worried about that because they thought Lanterns might abandon the cosmic side of the Green Lantern lore. But Trailer 2 completely changes that perception. Yes, the show still feels like a grounded detective story. You've got interrogation scenes, murder mystery vibes, dusty highways, dark lighting, quiet tension. But now the trailer also gives us massive energy constructs, ring-powered flight, cosmic visuals, and a larger Green Lantern mythology. So instead of removing the comic book elements, it feels more like the show is trying to ask, what would Green Lanterns actually feel like if they existed in a grounded HBO world? And honestly, that's a way more interesting idea than just copying the MCU formula. One of the biggest criticisms of the first trailer was the lack of actual Green Lantern powers. Where's the green, guys? Well, HBO clearly listened because this trailer finally unleashes the ring constructs. And they look awesome. The energy has weight to it, the constructs feel dangerous, the lighting looks cinematic instead of cartoonish. There's a sequence when Hal Jordan appears to stop a massive attack using a giant energy shield. And visually, it might be one of the best live-action Green Lantern effects we've ever seen. And thankfully, the powers don't look overdone. The constructs almost feel raw and unstable, which actually makes them more believable. You can tell they're trying to avoid the overly glossy CGI look that hurt that 2011 Green Lanterns movie. Sorry for mentioning it, guys. Now, let's talk about this big Easter egg in the entire trailer, Sinestro. Because yes, the teaser absolutely appears to hint that Sinestro is already active in the universe. There are multiple shots filled with yellow lighting and fear imagery tied to certain scenes, and longtime Green Lanterns fans immediately recognize what that could mean. Yellow, in the Green Lantern mythology, has always symbolized fear. That could mean Sinestro has already turned against the Corps, or Sinestro Corps may already be forming. And if that's true, this show suddenly becomes one of the most important projects in the DCU, because the Sinestro Corps Wars is one of the biggest Green Lantern storylines ever made. And honestly, this darker HBO tone would fit perfectly for that storyline. Another huge moment for fans is Guy Gardner. Yes, Nathan Fillion briefly appears in the trailer. What's funny is how completely different Guy feels compared to Hal and John. Hal and John are serious, grounded, emotionally heavy. Then Guy shows up with his bowl cut and that pure chaotic comic book energy. And honestly, the contrast might be exactly what this show needs. Kind of a bridge between what we saw in Superman and the Lantern series. It also is a good reminder to audiences that this is still a superhero universe. And that balance is probably going to be crucial for the success of the DCU moving forward. Now here's where things really get interesting. A lot of fans are starting to believe the show takes place across two different timelines. And after rewatching the teaser multiple times, I honestly think that they're right. Some scenes show Hal looking older and emotionally destroyed. Other scenes show him more active and confident. John Stewart also seems slightly different depending on the scene, which suggests we might be watching the beginning of a major cosmic event that would explain the fragmented editing style of the trailer. Honestly, that feels very Damon Lindelof, very Watchmen, and if the show pulls the structure off correctly, it could make Lanterns one of the most unique comic book series ever made. This series may secretly be laying the groundwork for the full Lantern Corps, Sinestro Corps Wars, Blackest Night, or even future Justice League level events, because James Gunn has repeatedly talked about interconnecting storytelling in the DCU, and Lanterns feels way too important to just be a standalone detective show. Overall, the teaser did exactly what HBO needed it to do. It reassured longtime Green Lantern fans that this is still a true Green Lantern adaptation, while also showing casual audiences that the series has a unique identity. It feels darker, smarter, more mature, but still undeniably DC. And honestly, if this show sticks the landing, Lanterns could end up being one of the best superhero series HBO has ever made. But now I want to hear from you guys. What was your favorite Easter egg in the Lanterns teaser trailer? Do you think Sinestro is already operating in the DCU? And are you excited for the darker, true detective style direction of this show? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure that you like the video, subscribe to Fatherly Fandom, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future DCU coverage. Thanks for watching, guys, and as always, stay nerdy, my friends, and I will see you next time.